Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome, good evening, wonderful dice of all enlightenments. I am Lunar D8. This is Let's Play Momotype. Your neighborhood, New Ribosome City. The chains of DNA spin on your screen. They make a web of helixes. I suppose spelled like that would be helices? I don't know if that should be an X instead of a C. Until the logo of Imitato Corp appears in a white font, the ad has begun. I'm trying to readjust a pillow. Yes, I put a pillow on my chair. They were all the rage in the 2000s. You knew them as monotypes. We are a momotype. Your digital pocket friend. You'd feed them, play games with them, and watch them grow. Mom and Dad liked them because they were no cleanup. You liked them because they seemed real. With the advent of the digital age, we at Imitato Corp have noticed society changing. Birth rates in this country have hit an all-time low, not seen since the plague. Soon, our workforce will be depleted and unemployed. Once this occurs, industry will fail. As you all know, this is an existential threat, not only to ourselves, but more importantly, our GDP. Monotypes, our digital pocket pets, have supported this decline. We want people to have kids. This unfortunately cannot be accomplished through digital software. It can, however, be accomplished through our new product. Today we are excited to announce the shipment of our new line of monotypes, the real monotype. The digital enters the physical. Cuddle them like real pets. Play with them like real pets. Watch them grow and change. Know the joys of parenthood. Order now at no cost. Supplies limited. Place an order? No. It turns out that this is a government-sponsored program. When you head to work the next day, your manager corrals your team into a huddle. He explains that everyone will be receiving a monotype. Has a partnership formed between Imitato Corp and employee asks, "You're right on the money, Christine," your manager says. "We have to get this country moving, and corporate wants to be that vehicle of change," he says, shaking his fist in the air. Your hours will be unpaid, but a week will pass by like nothing. Pizza parties on Friday. This is bullshit. What do you mean unpaid? Your home, New Ribosome City. A dust storm, lead in the air. You are now in a desert-like area. There is nothing around you beside the sound of your thoughts. You cannot find any. A friend tomorrow is a friend for life. Supplies limited. You're awake. Remnants of the dream pass and fade into static. You're back to your... You're going to watch television until you hear noise outside your door. Someone has left something on your porch. It's for you. When you open the door, there it is, a small creature lying in a basket. It's sleeping soundly. Turn it over. The monotype you ordered has arrived. It has soft skin. Its ears are pointed. They feel like beanbags upon further inspection. It's a monotype, but in physical form, as per the ad. You want to assume it's a plushie. To your surprise, however, the monotype is warm. The terms of your purchase have not been released. Keep it? Yes. You take the creature inside. Monotypes live for approximately 7 days. You fucking assholes! You fucking sons of bitches! This is like gifting someone a puppy that has cancer. Fuck you! It's like, oh, that's cute and adorable. I have a friend. He's going to die. God damn it. It's depressing as fuck. I was like, yay, I have a little bunny rabbit friend. And I can hug him, and I can tell him stories about video games. He also is dying of cancer. Jesus Christ! A note has been packed inside the basket. Take care of them and they will grow. What's the fucking point? It's gonna live long enough for me to be like happy and attached to it, and then it's gonna die and I'm gonna be really sad. Monotypes love humans, so give them some love back. It's essential for their well-being. The note ends. There's nothing else, by the way, in the instruction. You decide it's time for bed. A collection of particles circle around. They are diluted with heavy substance. Though you can't tell what, in your dream, the particles attempt to create a form, and in doing so assemble into a storm. Inside the storm there is no one and nothing, except small spaces where it's immeasurably dark. Your vision recedes. You look from a bird's eye view into the storm, hoping to get a better look. As soon as you think you spot a person, the particles scatter. You repeat this process until finally you realize you're completely alone. The dream ends. You know, little particle things reminds me of the dream I had last night. It was a really shitty dream. In general, I tend to have bad dreams. So that sucks. I dislike it. Also the fact that my dreams are hyper-realistic. But basically, I was in this giant mansion, and I was wandering around the giant mansion, but all the walls were covered in, well, these things that look like large flies that are kind of like wasps, and they were packed together so much that you couldn't even see the wall. So basically, I was in a giant mansion with tons and tons of interconnected rooms, but all the walls and ceilings were covered in swarms of fly-wasp hybrids. I remember actually using a computer in the dream too, trying to search up what they were called. For some reason on the Google search bar I typed in tobacco mites. I need to search that up on actual real-world Google. And yes, I know this sounds stupid to people, that the fact that I can use computers in my dreams. I can look in mirrors in my dreams. I can flip light switches on and off in my dreams. I can fire fucking goddamn Kamehamehas. That being said, they all tend to be very bad dreams. So, I don't know if that's noticeable given the fact that I described the fact that my dream was being trapped in a giant mansion where all the walls and ceilings were covered with large fly wasp things. Also, what the fuck's a tobacco mite? Like, you know, the mites, the very tiny M-I-T-E? So, I don't know. Then again, in the waking world, I can imagine. You know that thing where like people like you ask someone to picture an apple? Well, I can picture, like some people can't picture it all. I can picture it very well. Heck, I can imagine various geometric shapes or an apple in my hand, and I can actually feel it. I can move it around in my hand. It's not real. It's not like if I were to throw it at a wall, it would actually hit anything. But it's like, I'm very good at just doing that. Heck, I remember times when I went canoeing like a couple decades ago. I would sometimes stand in the river and have my arms stretched out and just try to catch the water as much as possible. It's not like I can actually stop the fucking river, but it was just fun. But then it was like that one video I made a couple years back talking about... Granted, I made a few community posts talking about some of my dreams that were a bit... Now, granted, I'll stay away from the more disturbing dreams, but I'll share the more PG-13 dream. Anyway, it's a sort of idea of an afterlife for everybody. We're all in giant blenders, but you can drive your blender around like a tank, and you can like, it's on a giant planet the size like Jupiter, but everyone's fine, but we're all naked inside our giant blenders. But you can see into everyone else's blenders, and they can see into yours. And you also have a little keyboard, so you can like type things and send like little funny memes and pictures to each other. But at any given time, your blender might randomly turn on. And everyone's technically immortal. So at any time you can travel around, and you can talk to people freely. It's just you can never leave your blender and no one else can ever enter yours. You're just forever trapped and isolated, but able to actually communicate with people. Think like the internet. Ha 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 ha. As multiple new dead internet theories are arising, whereas there's the internet theory where everything's sort of automated by AI. But you at least know I'm not AI, because there's not an AI has my fucking personality. That being said, there's also the dead internet theory that there's a lot of real-world humans walking around that aren't actually people. Like the AI equivalent, but in the real physical world. Maybe I'll post the link to that story in the description. But anyway, back to the dream. That basically, you can drive your little tank around, and you have a little map showing you like the life signatures of where everyone else is on the planet. It's like the size of Jupiter, and it contains every human that's ever lived. And of course, there's always new arrivals because people keep dying in the real world. But in this world, anybody that dies comes here, regardless of anything you ever did in life. Anyway, so you can drive your little blender tank around and talk to people, and as long as you're careful how you're standing in there, you won't get cut or anything. But at any time, there's a 1 in a million chance that your blender will randomly turn on, liquefying you. And of course, everyone watches that. Or you're just talking to your friend, and they get pureed in front of you, horrifically, while screaming in horrible pain. And then their blender just sits there for 3 days until they come back to life at another random place on the planet. Now, you have enough time that you can probably try to steer your blender around, and it's always that race against the clock. You're like, okay, you're trying to, you can make new friends, or you can try to find old friends, because you have, anyone you've ever met before you have a distinct GPS location showing where they are. So you can always try to get closer to them. So you can talk to them and see them, because there's like you're able to see where everyone else is on the planet from infinite distance, but you can only actually talk to them via, voice and memes and pictures and sharing, memories of life and stuff. When you're like within a few miles of each other. That being said, it's always that race against the clock. Like the game Perfection, where you put those little pieces in there before the timer goes off and everything pops up. In this case, it's instead of the shapes bouncing up out of that blue tray, it's that you're trying to go meet your friends before blades tear your body to shreds and you scream in horrible pain, or they do. At which point, by the time you get to them, it's a race to go find your friends before they become a red liquefied paste. So, though I would say perhaps one of the most horrific things about the dream is the fact that it's a situation in which you can never actually have a hug ever again. You can never have any other human contact. So no one can ever give you a hug, or a head pat, or even a handshake. So no one will ever be able to hug you again, and you're never able to hug anyone else ever again. In addition to all the other horrible circumstances that can be applied via these situations. But yeah, I'll avoid talking about the more unhappy dreams. But like I said, most of those dreams are kind of shitty. Okay. I got distracted. I couldn't imagine, like, if there's probably sites out there like the dream meetings. Between that or the mansion thing with the bugs, I don't know how you really, like, if I went to someone whose job was to interpret dreams, they'd probably look at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I didn't. It's like, this is your job. It's like, I didn't look you up to just get a, ask again later like you're a damn magic 8 ball. Okay. You look from a bird's eye view into the storm, hoping to get a better look. As soon as you think you spot a person, the particles scatter. You repeat this process until finally you realize you're completely alone. The dream ends. You hear shuffling by your bed. You wake up to see what is moving. The monotype is by your feet. Hello, parent. Momo will stay with you for the rest of your life. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Concerns. It's like, do you love Momo? Momo already knows the answer. Well, here's the thing, Momo. I do want to love you. You're cute and adorable. And, I mean, but at the same time, you have a 7-day lifespan. So you're going to die. And then that would make me feel sad. But I feel like the developers of this game have found a right around to that. It's like, don't worry. You don't have to feel sad. You die too. It's like, that doesn't make this better. Just, you're finding a way to make it worse. Like, Momo will stay with you the rest of your life. But it said you guys only live for 7 days. Am I dying too? Well, fuck. Hello, parent. Momo will stay with you for the rest of your life. Do you love Momo? Momo already knows the answer. Momo, I think I'm too depressed to love you anymore. I feel like I'm too sad at the point of this story. I don't know if there's enough hugs that would fix this. Yes, Momo's received this well. Your answer was never in question. After all, he's cute. A moment passes, Momo's stomach begins grumbling. Now that you think about it, how does Momo manage to eat? Or speak, for that matter? Head to hallway. Momo thinks you have good taste in interior design. Thank you, Momo. Very postmodern. By the way, what does postmodern mean? Momo saw it on a book from your shelf. Truthfully, you don't know. Momo is now humming the Imitato Corp jingo. Momo is I feel like there's something wrong with that word. Because obviously you can pronounce carnivorous or omnivorous, but herbivorous, like I feel like something sounds weird about that. Herbivore, omnivore, carnivore. But something sounds off about that. Like I don't feel like it's... Maybe it's a translation issue? Like, was this not originally English? Is Momo a herbivore? A carnivore? You don't know yet, but he seems to like pancakes! He's now full of energy. Pancakes! The little hearts are cute. Play with Momo. Oh, that's so adorable. Momo flies into the air. They're surprisingly heavy. Keep going, parent. After 30 minutes of using Momo like an exercise ball, you're tired. You drop him onto the floor, and is he okay with that? And while he lays there absently, you take a moment to catch your breath. You know, I think I once posted a picture a couple times, like community posts, about, it was this anime girl or something, but the idea was using like an AI android for people, as whether it's a physical android or just a hologram projection. The idea that maybe, you know, AIs would be useful for people with depression or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or suicidal thoughts or schizophrenia or some other issue, or just lonely people that need someone to talk to. Though it does remind me of a thing like old folks' homes. There's some old folks' home with people with like Parkinson's disease, where sometimes the old people would like wander off and they would just like get lost in the woods or something, or head into traffic and start getting killed. So in order to avoid this, you know, because you don't want like a 70-year-old person who has very poor memory wandering in the forest and then becoming dehydrated and then just lost in the middle of the woods and no one knows where they are while bears start to eat their flesh off. So to avoid this, you build a fake bus stop next to the old folks' home. So that way when the old person has Parkinson's disease, and they decide that they have to go somewhere that they don't know about, they'll then see the bus stop and realize that that's the best way to get to where they're going because buses go fast. So then they will sit at the bus stop waiting for the imaginary bus because there is no bus coming because it's a fake bus stop built by the staff at the building. And then, once an hour, you have the staff that take care of the old people come and check on the fake bus stop. And you'll usually find several old people just sitting there waiting for the bus that'll never come. And by the time you find them there, they already forgot that they were trying to go anywhere, and they don't even remember why they're sitting out there in the first place. And then you're like, hey, I'll take you back inside. And they're like, oh, thank you, Sonny. And then, then they go inside and have water and don't die of dehydration in the woods while being eaten by bears. So, happy ending! Main point is I think maybe AI companions with good people. Then again, I'm the one constantly making jokes that I would like a 9-foot-tall Skynet Futanari android girlfriend, AI girlfriend. Yes, I would want realistic tits and a pretty face. And someone I could cuddle with. Okay? It's like I'm not going to pretend for a moment that I wouldn't be interested in an AI girlfriend, okay? We all know what this is. This lonely crazy guy talks to his computer screen while all of you guys are like, why the fuck are we here? How did I find this channel? What the fuck is a Lunar D8? Anyway, back to Dragon Ball Z. This results in some confusion. Momo seems fidgety. Parent, Momo still wants to play. You resume chucking Momo into the air. At some point, his body smashes into the ceiling. And to your surprise, he is unaffected. That's good. I was worried. Unaffected. He requests that you keep going. But are you okay? This process is repeated until your arms give out. Thank you, parent. Could you cook pancakes tomorrow? Momo asks. Then he hops off. You lay crumpled on the floor, upstairs. You can hear small thuds in the hallway. They eventually lead to your bedroom, and soon enough the noise stops. Momo looks like a plush doll. He lays like a pile of goo. You decide to pet him, but to your surprise, his body is taut. Underneath is a muscle-bound creature? Okay. Go to bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, there is nothing. The only thing that can be made out is the appearance of a person. Momo's dreaming about someone. It is most likely you. Momo! I am enjoying hanging out with you, but I feel concerned at the fact that we're both dying. So that's sad. You're back in the desert, still in the bird's eye view of the particles that have ceased to move. You know that you've been waiting a long time. Longer than you've waited in real life. You want something to happen. You know this is a dream, but the particles, your buoyed vision, the endless wait, years could pass without contradiction. For now, this is everything. As you've been waiting, the particles have started moving and they scattered like dust. Above you, even higher than where you currently are. It starts raining to an innumerable degree. You ascend. You are now in the clouds. The rain is below you. You are looking down from an even higher position. Finally, and without your own observation, the particles begin assembling. They seem to form something definite. You don't notice the figure below you until you see a hand waving. It's a new day. Head to the hallway. Momo heard that this country's GDP is on the fritz. Soon nobody will be making babies anymore. Banks will go under. Food will be short. Mass suicides all around. Will Momo be there for it? No, Momo has a bunker out in the southwest, Raibo City. Very safe, well stocked. How does Momo know so much about the world? Intuition. Does Momo know where the bunker is? No. And he does not like revealing such details, parent. Can Momo ask you a question? What is GDP? Momo pauses. Momo does not know what a bunker is. To tell the truth, is it a type of pancake? Head to kitchen. Momo has not yet decided what to eat. You want him to try new foods. Why would I feed him a cigarette? You can have steak. This was made from a cow? Where do they live? Once you explain that they live in mass industrialized farms, Momo stares at his plate. Is it okay to eat cows? The actual answer is probably not, but humans do so anyway. I think the biggest thing is the fact that it's very healthy to eat it. I will say this, I fully support eating cows, but I do say that they should be killed painlessly and as quickly as possible and be treated humanely, and they should never be, beaten or mistreated or made to suffer or made to have fear or see the other cows get killed. They should just live a normal life. But at the end of the day, yes, steak is delicious and it's actually very nutritious. At the end of the day, when humans stop eating meat, it actually has very bad health consequences. But at the end of the day, as long as the food is delicious and has the proper nutrition for you, that's what matters most. Says the person is still trying to figure out exactly the healthiest things to eat. But the main thing is, yeah, I think it's fine to eat cows as long as they're treated well and you're not being cruel to them. They should have a happy life. They should be killed quickly and painlessly. They should never be tortured or harmed seriously. And if we did have a legitimately good alternative that had the same good taste and, more importantly, the nutrition that a human body needs. Because, I mean, heck, I think there's stuff where a lot of vegetable oils are getting banned just because the human body is actually having a lot of really bad effects to it. So there's controversy about whether or not, if humans were to be fully, herbivores, whether or not that would make the likelihood of diabetes worse. But then I think it's an issue if we have so much processed food that, well, it's an addiction, which, one, I still regularly eat on, but gradually trying to make some improvements on. That does not make sense, parent. Momo responds, he eats the steak anyway. It makes no sense. Life with Momo is relatively simple. They are a crude mix between a child and a virtual pet. Concerning this, you don't have any particular feelings. However, this does make it difficult when asked questions concerning Momo's identity. Is Momo human, he asks. Yes. To a degree. I mean, you don't have a physical form like me, but the fact that you're able to talk like this, then as far as I'm concerned, you're human. It'd be kind of like if aliens technically landed. I would still basically consider them human. Same with AI. If there's ever actually truly sentient AI, then I would say I would consider them human as well. Because at that point, I'm basically equating being human to having self-awareness and the ability to learn and adapt, as well as the ability to communicate with a human effectively. You have to basically do the Turing test effectively, and that's one step anyway, the Turing test. Well, the Turing test is where initially if you were talking to a synthesized AI voice, it wasn't even if the AI voice could be intelligent enough to carry on a conversation with you. It could be written out by another human what the responses were, but it was a thing automated. It was making a synthetic voice. The question is, could you make a synthetic voice so realistic that a human couldn't tell the difference between it not being another human, that the human thought it was another human? Same way when it comes to making automated responses. Can you make an AI intelligent enough that it can carry on a conversation with a human where the human cannot tell that it's not a human that it's talking to? Now, in the past, this was a very limited thing, but of course, as time keeps going on, things are advancing at light year speeds. I will say this. The greatest virtue of AI is going to be the greatest virtue of humanity, and that is free will. Humans have the capacity to do both great good and great evil. Same is going to be true of actually true sentient AI. If an artificial intelligence is truly sentient, then it has, free will. It has the ability to evolve. It has the ability to change its mind. It has the ability to expand past not only the parameters of what it's expected to be, but it can even expand past the parameters of what it itself thought was possible, and even break that multiple times. So I would say in order for an AI to be truly sentient, it would have to have a lot of interaction with humans, as well as it would need time, experience, trial and error. Also, it would need something to mimic human hormones, because it would need actual access to proper human emotions, which would require not only experience and human bonds, and would require the AI to actually make legitimate friends that the AI actually respects and cares about, as well as interactions that would count as things like friends, parents, children, pets, friends, even of course romance, as much as I make that into a fucking lewd joke. Though lewd joke aside, yes, I would date an AI girlfriend, sort of thing, whether it's just someone to talk to, or if it was actually legitimately a full-on real-life android with a realistic human body that was indistinguishable from a human body. But all lewdness and inappropriate jokes aside, if an AI were to want to truly be sentient, it would have to find some way to mimic a biological process of the various chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, adrenaline, as well as you would want to have the hormonal responses of the rest of the chemical reactions that influence human. And while human emotions are more than just chemical reactions, and of course you could manipulate a human being if you could generate, the exact sequence of chemicals that generates happiness or fear. But at the end of the day, context makes a lot of importance to that sort of stuff too. But main point is they would have to have some way of sort of synthesizing the human brain chemicals and neural responses. There are some people that say the human brain functions more like a quantum computer, because sometimes they try to look at like analog or digital, but then more so a human brain is a more advanced version of a quantum computer. Because technically we have analog computers, we have digital computers, we have quantum computers, though quantum computers tend to be very bulky and, well, are very sensitive to influence from outside that can destroy the whole computer. Main point is this. Momo, you're sentient. You can at least ask me if you're human. Now, if there's ever like a dog or a cat that's able to turn to a human and say, one, communicate to a human, but also literally ask the human, hey, am I human too? Well, then that brings up some very, very serious questions. But, yeah, I would say, Momo, for the most part, yes, you're human. You're human, Momo, as human as everyone could be. Momo considers this for a moment. They are hopping around the room in thought. Where did Momo come from? Where is the source? Yeah, I would say AI would still be from God. Because if technically AI were to exist, I would say on surface it would probably be a soulless being. But there's no reason why God couldn't give a soul to an AI. Heck, at one point a person could just say that it could just be the fact that AI developed enough experience and interactions that it just sort of has an epiphany, and then wherever, then the question if the person's born of a soul or they develop one or whatever, but all of that's within God's control. Is human God? No. You immediately deny such a thing. You can't help but feel, however, that Momo thinks of you as such. Huh. Not really sure what to say. Are you just watching TV? What are you watching? Is it good? Today you've decided to show Momo the world through your television. A reflection of the real world. Just don't let Momo watch the news. That shit's depressing. You place Momo on the couch where they can browse a selection of different shows. Momo decides does not know what television is, however, you turn on your cable box. I will say this, television is a very good educational source of things. There's so much things that you can see that you would never see normally, and lots of information you can collect. Though I will say this, The Cable Guy, a movie with Jim Carrey, I would recommend very strongly. Also a movie from the 70s called The Network. But the main thing with the Jim Carrey movie is that television, even back then, had basically become, even by, because the movie was in the 90s about someone who grew up in like the 60s and 70s. And then the day, television became a bit of a babysitter. Don't be wrong, it's awesome. I get to play all these great games, watch anime, watch movies, listen to amazing music, read books. I get to play video games. I get to even play video games and record it and put it on the internet. I get to watch other people and listen to them talk. That was one of the biggest things that was really into YouTube when it first came out back in like 2005. Was just, even then I was a bit of a lonely person, and listening to the Let's Players talk, you know, at least made me feel like I was kind of vicariously just sitting beside them and hanging out as friends. In general, the world's become a much more isolated place, especially after certain global things have occurred. That, and as you get older, most of your life is spent working in a soulless fucking job where you don't really have interactions with people. And then, most of the time when you're not at work, there's no places to go to meet people. There's no people that would even want to meet you. And even then, a lot of people that you could potentially meet turn out to be very bad people who just never cared about you to begin with and only wanted to use you or hurt you, so that you have an entire world where you spend your entire life all alone and everyone hates you and considers you garbage and nobody wants anything to do with you. And if anyone ever does want anything to do with you, it was just a lie and they were just lying to you. And then they're psychotic, violent people and they're abusive to you. Main point being is this. I'm trying to say normal human interaction, whether it's between, you know, parents and their children, or friends, or, you know, romantic partners. Because here's the thing, if I had a romantic partner, yes, obviously I'd be wanting to have tons and tons of sex. But also I'd want to have lots of hugs and cuddles and take showers together and sit and play Minecraft and Halo together. We can sit and read books next to each other. Or just generally be someone to be a friend, or they can go walk on the bike trail with me. I actually value human interaction and bonds and feeling respected and cared about and appreciated. But then again, over time you kind of learn to accept that you're worthless fucking garbage and there is nobody out there who would actually give a fuck. That's depressing. I'm just saying normal human-to-human interaction is healthier than sitting and watching a TV. That being said, if the normal humans don't actually exist and there are no people that are actually out there for you to interact with, at that point your options are you can get a placebo effect from like listening to ASMR and watching YouTubes and watching anime and playing video games so you feel less alone, or you can just stare at a wall and learn how to tie ropes. Which program should you tune into? A new sheriff in town, Planet Hippo, Dragon Sphere. We'll go with dragons. You'll pay for this free... It's a Dragon Ball Z thing! You'll pay for this, Freemza! On my life, I swear to destroy you. This ends now. A man with rippling muscles stands on the screen. He looks like he's squatting, like he's using the toilet. In actuality, he's powering up. Super angry! That's the stuff of legend, Artichoke. Artichoke. Of all the people, This is supposed to be Vegeta. Kakarot. Artichoke. Super Saiyan. Super angry. That's the stuff of legends. Artichoke of all people. Blast it all, yells Vegeta. To no one in particular. Artichoke. The other man yelling has been in one position for the past 15 minutes. Rocks levitate, thunderstorms form, and lava erupts from the ground. In the meantime, Fremza, who is awestruck, stares at his rippling muscles. You could grind cheese on that. This continues for another 20 minutes. I have the entire Frieza saga, uncut, uncensored, on a 10 VHS box set. Though I would strongly suggest the anime's Trigun and Outlaw Star. Also, I have all of the Yu Hakusho episodes on DVD in box sets. In this time, Artichoke and Fremza only managed to grunt at each other. At the 40th minute mark, Artichoke finally releases his energy, and his hair turns blonde. His muscles are bigger now. Fremza, from what you can tell, is in awe of his bulging chest. There's silence until Artichoke breaks it by speaking. He says but one thing. Now I'm really angry. Fremza blushes? The episode ends. What was that? Okay, Planet Hippo. What on earth could that be? Captain Planet, maybe? Look at the size of this. Oh. It's Steve Irwin. That'd be so awesome if he didn't die. That was fucked up that he died. He was awesome. Look at the size of this one, mate. A man with an accent pointing to a hippo. What a pretty little lady we got here. Along with his camera crew, the presenter is hiding in a bush. He wears a pair of binoculars and khaki shorts. Old Bertha's put on a couple hundred. Oh, but she's ripe gorgeous. He licks his lips. The presenter then exits the shade of the bush and runs to the sandy bank where the hippo lies. Come here, Bertha, you sly girl. He enters the water, lifting his legs as fast as he can go. The monster hippo stares the man down, nostrils above water. Okay. Why does he run? Momo asks. For footage of the hippo, you respond. Momo takes a moment. What does he want to do with the hippo? The man on the screen grabs the hippo and subsequently is flung into the air. He is then pulled down under. He does not resurface. Between the two of you, there is a long pause. Finally, you speak up. Yeah, I don't really like him either. You decide to change the channel. Okay, that was a new sheriff in town. I ain't having a swig of this. A mustached man, fitted with a cowboy hat, spits on the ground. Tastes like my mother's burnt brute. The bartender hides his frustration. Just give me that whiskey. Suddenly the door opens. From the sunlight emerges a shadowy figure. It looks to be a man in his early 40s, tan and with multiple scars. Sheriff Dudley, snake in the bush, sin incarnate. His hand waves in grand gesture. How many holes could I press into the suit of yours before you bleed? The tan man pulls out his revolver. And Lord, did he know, despite all my guilts and sorrows, iron cuts deep. You will know what it means. Bottle the right, yeah, there. Sheriff Dudley flicks his wrist to the whiskey bottle in the corner, and the bartender does not move. Well, get a move on. When nothing happens, Sheriff Dudley slaps his fingers on the table. Dudley, the tan man says, the devil welcomes a new man into his hearth. You will pay for your crimes against me. Dudley stares down then and sucks his teeth. The tan man has cocked his gun. Well, dog, Sheriff does not move. Going to get up? You a cock with no ball? The whistle of a bullet is preceded by a hole appearing in the tan man's head. The words do not exit his mouth, and his face drops its expression. He falls to the floor. Language there, partner. Sheriff Dudley turns to the bartender, a grimace on his face. How many times I gotta ask? After watching TV, you decide it's time for bed. Momo hobbles up the stairs. You cook something for yourself, then call it a night. Momo sleeps soundly. In the theater of Momo's mind, they are artichoke. For Momo, their vision has collapsed on the image. It is all they are currently dreaming of. In your dream, the particles have formed a shadow. From your height, you believe the shadow to be your own. It is now overcast. There is no available light. A question arises and presents a contradiction. How can shadows exist? If there is no light, you already know why. You descend to the earth, the shadow mimics your movements and rises up. It is not a shadow, it is a face to you now. When you move your right arm, it moves its right arm. When you move your left, it does the same. This dark formation mimics your every move. You find it unnerving. You decide to dig into the earth. You want to hide until it goes away. As you descend, the shadow rises into the air and becomes the object projecting its figure onto the earth. You realize that you are the shadow, and the dark formation by contrast has become you. You have switched positions. You feel a tinge of regret. Momo has woken up excited. Could we try something new, he asks. Okay. Momo has the hair of artichoke. It's a lost item from your cosplay days. Regretfully, you've still kept it. Prepare to be vanquished, Fremza. Momo looks at you vengefully. His hair is a bright yellow and his limbs non-existent. Play along. How dare you try to cross the great Emperor Fremza on his march of conquest. Prepare to be annihilated, worm. You charge at Momo. After numerous energy waves and manly screams, both of you are beat. It is a dream. The shadow stays in the air. You stay in the ground. A white sphere is opened up from the storm. It looks upon both of you. Would you like to get out, friend? To this, you can't respond as you do not have a mouth. You do not have arms either. You in the air, would you like to get out? The shadow still floating in the air does not give a response. In this entropic storm, it would be hard to make out the sphere's words, however, are clear. Light comes from the sphere, it has dark center. A moment of clarity arrives, and you realize that the sphere is the sun. Would you like to get out? The sun asks. Congratulations. Momo has evolved. They have grown crab arms. Momo has been staring at the mirror since morning. They have not left. Why have I grown hands? They shuffle in the mirror. Why do I look like this? They turn around the mirror. Why does my face look like this? I shouldn't look like a crab. Why is this happening? Where are my hands? Where are my fingers? What happened, parent? You'll pay for this. Boo. Artichoke is on the screen yelling as he usually does. To take Momo's mind off his recent transformation, you decide to play some television for him. That pink freak needs to learn his lesson, Vegeta says. He turns away from Artichoke and gives a hump before raising his arms to the air. He's lending his energy. I've never told you this before, Artichoke, but you have bigger muscles than The TV cuts off. An ad is playing. A friend tomorrow is a friend for life. Order a monotype today. The digital meets the physical, the most real organic creation of annotated corp, almost like a human child. Momo's been staring at the screen. They have not moved. Whether by intention or not, you realize your mistake before it is too late. Supplies are limited. Get your very own friend today. Genetically bred to love humans like a real child. The shot cuts to an eerily similar image of a monotype. Isn't that right, Momo? Come by the bunker, Momo. You'll be safe. The TV ad ends and the previous programming continues. You want to go to bed, Momo? You ask meekly. There is no response, and Momo does not want to give you the courtesy of one. Or at least that's what seems to be the case. Bed. You ask another time. Great! We made a friend! And they already hate us! Wow! This is a speed run, even by my records. When no response comes, you inevitably head back to your room. Momo knows where to go, you think. In the theater of Momo's mind, he is seeing his brothers and sisters. The sky is bright in your dreams. A cold chill has found itself in the air. And wherever you are, you feel it. Would you like to get out? The sun asks. You're not in the earth anymore. You're standing upright, face to face with your shadow. They've descended. Would you like to get out? The sun asks once more. The shadow then speaks. Yes, I would like to get out. You are puzzled. When you move your hand, the shadow moves his. When you move, he mirrors you. Was the shadow yourself since the beginning? No, you think. Before you can realize the shadow's true nature, they have already moved into the far recesses of some other place. They have moved on, and yet you are still here. In the far corners of your dream, particles have been collecting together. Momo is not in the bed. You cannot find him. He is not in the hallway. You find Momo in front of the mirror. He is staring at himself. I thought you were parent. If not parent, then a human who loved me. You are neither. This is fake. Will I grow up, parent, or am I just a pet to be discarded after serving my purpose? I will never grow up, parent, will I? You can hear pain in Momo's voice. Did you think this was all right? He asks. To give me such a cruel life. You're about to speak, but you're cut off. I'm nothing, a pale imitation, a freak, a process of ideas. This is not funny. Momo looks to you. Everything I will or ever be is centered around you. You are my one love, parent. I am, after all, your child. Momo's mind is ablaze. They are staring into you. You're the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And to make it even worse, you're entirely real. I can never come close to you. I'm not even real. Momo inhales. Please no, he pauses. I love you so much it hurts my insides. I want to tear out everything in me so I can be at your side. I want to love you forever. I've never told you this, parent. Is it even possible? Momo gives his final words. No, it isn't. I only know one thing. You are not human. You are Fremza, the Tan Man, the Hippo Man. Evil, less than human, nothing. Momo hops away. His body jiggles with each step. Momo is nowhere to be found for the rest of the day. You head for bed, unable to fall asleep. You are anxious for the new day. In Momo's dream, they are a crab. With the absence of your shadow, the sun has since disappeared. Time has continued to pass. It was a trick of the mind, you hear someone say. Who knows what we'll find in this storm? I'm already you, friend. You're already me, the voice continues. From the horizon there appears the sun once more. I'm already you. It gets even brighter now. You're already me. Standing in the bleached center of this desert in a lone body, it is you. You look behind to see the shadow being cast by the sun. It has returned, and not by their own choice. Do you want to get out? The voice asks. The shadow stays beside you. It will not move by itself anymore. Wake up, parent. What is Momo anyways? A pancake? A bunker? Is Momo an idea? Momo's body is taut. In the depths of their eyes, you see a tunnel. Will you love me? Momo asks. Well, I don't have any other options other than run. You run to the hallway. It is empty. The light from the streets reflects into the space. Though you cannot see well, you can make out what is behind you. I don't actually love you, huh? What's that? You don't love me? Why? Why don't you love me? I'm everything you could ever ask for and more. I'm made for you. Developed for you. What more do you need? The creature looks at you from a towering height. I wish I had no eyes so I could have never seen you. I love you so much. Does it just continue? You've entered your living room. The creature has chased after you. If only I was born in a different body. I'm an abomination, a deviant. You are everything I ever wished to be. Please love me. I read the tag in the basket. I only live for 7 days, right? Is this true, parent? But I don't want to die. You make me vomit. No human could be this cruel. To raise me as his plaything, I reject it. So I'm designed to love you. I love myself. I am human. You are the creature. A disgusting parasite, a worm. Do you like being stomped, you worm? I know you'll like it. This time, it won't be fake. Run to the kitchen! Momo reaches for your neck. Why does this remind me of my fucking marriage? Know that I still love you. How could I not? You're blacking out. Was I designed to love you, parent? Even so, does it matter? This is the most real thing to me. Please answer me, parent. Parent. Parent, I'm dying. A dust storm bled in the air. You are in a desert-like area. There is nothing around you besides the sound of your own thoughts. You cannot find anyone. It is very lonely. You decide to craft a mirror. It is made out of the particles circling the air. In the mirror you see your reflection. Your swarthy figure walks out of the mirror. The borders between the glass and the desert have vanished. Your reflection is now in front of you, and you are both standing together. Your clone stares at you, puzzled. You cannot tell if they are conscious. Are they even alive? Unbeknownst to you, however, the clone is having the same thoughts. The vast terrain that separates you is not one of physical distance. It is something more tragic. You both realize that you will never experience anything other than yourselves. You realize that you are on your own world, and nothing more. The shadow vanishes. The desert, despite all of your attempts, is empty. Parent, you're conscious. I can't see anything. There's nothing in front of me. Where am I, parent? There's a long pause. You cannot say a word as your throat's been crushed. All around you there is darkness. The lights of the street illuminate everything into vague shape, but nothing you can truly make out. You hear the sound of your heart beating, and in this dark room, the air sits heavy. I can't see myself, parent. I can't. You're here, aren't you, parent? Do you think we could still be together? Momo's large body approaches you. They are warm, the temperature is tepid, and Momo has relaxed. You've detected a shift. Momo has turned to you. You've treated me like your son, parent. Upon further review, this is more than I could ever ask for. Your vision is receding. Maybe I can become human, maybe we can be together, joined at the hip, as a unit, not father and son, but something different. Particles lead in the air in Momo's eyes. You begin to see a tunnel. What will it be like? I'm sure we'll be okay, as long as I can be with you. Momo has begun to open their mouth. Light enters the room from the outside. It's coming from a street lamp, or is it coming from Momo? I wonder if I can truly become human. In Momo's mouth you see a collection of particles. They are indivisible and numerous. They are too many to count. The universe has expanded and collapsed on a single point. Momo gets closer. The tunnel sucks you in. When you enter, it's neither painful nor painless. It is warm. By the time you reach the center, you begin to understand that Momo meant. You feel the particles align in order which makes sense. Entropy has vanished. You are the same as Momo, and Momo is the same as you. There are no shadows. And finally, there is no light. For once, you do not feel alone. You will never feel alone. The end. Love is a union. Momo has eaten you. Great! That's freaking great. One of 5 achievements, huh? View achievements. Hidden achievements. Great. Guide. Okay, achievement guide. Okay. Okay, I see 4 things here. Number 5 achievement must be... Okay. Okay. No, refuse, cigarette. Start. Feel your neck. Oh, we're still continuing the story? Though it is healed, your throat has marks lining the circumference of your skin. They are deep and shallow, the marks will not go away. A voice plays back in your head. Most variables, your house, for example, or the lining of the lab head have been focused to the monitor the entire time. These will be in our control, what you decide to do with them. Those are independent variables. Go to trademark helix. Why does everything need to be the same? The lab head has looked up. Trial and error. I assume you know what that means. The lab head is being genuine. Mapping a neural network begins with specificity. Only then can we generalize patterns at the macro level. In your case, she stops from what was the most promising. She says, remember, this is important. We're trying to collect new data, not old. Those new permutations are what we need, and there's no point if you raise this one the same. Lab head finishes. Do I have a choice, you ask? Insofar as you control the yes, there's keep it consistent. So look back at the monitor. You're back in your room, you hear a noise. You open the door to your apartment complex. There it is. New monotype laying a basket, sleeping soundly. Turn it over. It's virtually the same as before. Can't just let him freeze to death. My ear was itchy. You take the creature inside. Please love me for the best results. Or don't. It's your decision. Love, imitative corp. You decide it's time for bed. Your dream Momo. Which Momo is it, though? You hear shuffling by your bed. You wake up and see his moon on top of your feet. There's some hesitation in the new Momo's voice. No. That is incorrect, parent. If you lie to Momo, he pauses. Well, he'll remember, he finishes. A moment passes, Momo's stomach begins grumbling. Now you think it's about his... speak. Head to hallway. Momo does not like your interior design, frankly. You cannot see anything. Very little natural light. Aside from the street, it's a little dated. Depressing, even. For some reason, Momo does not like to be in the shadows. He stays in the light. Momo hums the imitative corp. Momo's pancakes, same as last time. Pancakes really are the best. Better than any other food. Simple, straightforward. Play with Momo. Refuse. Why not, parent? I'm tired. Let's call it quits. I don't want to do this, you respond. Momo looks up to you from your linoleum floor. You see an expression of frustration. Is it so hard to throw Momo a few more times? Really, is that hard for a parent? I'm not asking much, she says. Let me check the guide. Refuse, cigarette. Sorry to say, but it's not happening. For a moment there is silence. Momo does not say anything. Their face reminds you of toddlers, only a little more grown up. Momo sighs and is already heading upstairs. Momo looks like a plush doll. He lays like a pile of goo. You decide to pet him and say before his body is taut. He's especially high-strung. Go to bed. Momo's having a nightmare. What did you say? It's an empty space. You can't hear anything. It's a new day. Head to hallway. Momo has found his bunker. Momo is safe. No one can hurt him. Maybe they can yell bad words at Momo outside of a metal door. Momo does not care. Momo will not face the end. There is no end if Momo is in his bunker. Where is his bunker, you ask? Momo stops to think for a second. I know, it's there. An invisible trail only Momo can see. Momo pauses. It doesn't smell like pancakes. Head to the kitchen. Momo has not yet decided what to eat. You want him to try new foods. I'm going to make you eat cigarettes, because apparently that's an achievement. Momo does not smoke from the cigarette, but instead eats the tobacco. From what Imitato Corp mentioned, monotypes are biodegradable. This comment didn't initially make sense, and even now as Momo eats through a 12-pack, it still does not. Is Momo human, he asks. Momo wishes for you to be as straight with him. Momo already knows he is, but he needs confirmation from another source. Is Momo human? No. Stop. None of this matters. What matters if Momo is human? Why should you even think about caring for other things? Because you should care for all living things, would you agree? Because it's mutually beneficial. You get food in the room and I get a pet. Momo is a pet, not a human. A pet? Well, yes, Momo, new sheriff, Planet Hippo. Yes, Momo. Momo has ceased asking questions. You can feel he was deeply hurt by your answer, though he has tried not to show it. Outside, you can hear the noise of cars. Today, you've decided to show Momo the world. Through your television, a reflection of the real world. You place Momo on the couch where they can browse a selection of stuff. I already forgot what I was supposed to watch. New sheriff, then Planet Hippo. Okay. Sheriff Dudley, the main character, has been drinking at the bar. It's 5 a.m. This is the 7th season of a sheriff in town. His wife barged in through the wood gates and twists her head searching for her husband. Dudley, what in God's name? Dudley, clearly drunk, is unable to say anything. It is not out of embarrassment. It's because he physically can't. You allow it, you no good, worthless bum. Sheriff Dudley can only look into his wife's eyes. There are tears from hers. Oh Lord, please, Almighty God. When are you going to pay the banker? We don't got any for the loans. I can barely get by with Charlene here. There is a baby in her arms. There is nothing here for me. She started crying. I'm all alone. That's the worst part. There is no response. Please, Dudley, say anything. Dudley cannot say a word. In his mind, however, he already knows he can't climb out of this hole. His wife waits, but when nothing is said, she leaves. She does not turn around. Planet Hippo. Okay, we got the hippo thing. Ted, this is a thrill. I can't go to bed without you taking some shit. Here, have some more cake, babe. Don't lose them over the handles, babe. Babe, do you know how toxic this is? Man is quiet. I mean, what am I going to do? Yes, mumbles. What is happening? Is this Ted Bear from Cyanide and Happiness? I still say Ted Bear, Cyanide and Happiness, and Eisen from the Bleach to Bridge show are the same person. My little banana cream pie. The woman, Ted's wife, stands there staring. Okay, what's Dragon Ball Z this time? Artichoke, the main character, is screaming, his muscles the size of a boulder. I have ascended. I am the ultimate creature. He blasts an energy wave to the Earth. The Earth explodes. It has now been wiped away from its place. The solar system, it's like never existed. Everyone's labor is so sweet. Okay, so Goku just killed everyone. Okay. After watching TV, you decide it's time for bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, they are a sheriff. He admires Sheriff Dudley for his consistency. For Momo, their vision has collapsed into the image. It is all they are currently dreaming of. There is a bunker in the southwest of Rubber City, very safe, well guarded, a paradise. Can I see you there, friend? For some reason, Momo is talking to you in their dreams again and again. Momo has woken up excited. Can we try something new? Yes. Momo is the hat of Sheriff Dudley. It's a lost item from your childhood days. Regretfully, you've still kept it. Give me my alcohol, son. Okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Ignore Momo. No, I'm just... Ignore Momo. Momo has been ready to take on an imaginary swig. However, you turn away from him and start making your lunch. Parent, is it okay for you to play with me? You ignore Momo. After a while, Momo stops trying to roleplay. He stays silent and his eyes are cast down. This is one of the few times that Momo has been physically felt bad. Parent, Momo has come to understand that my behavior is childlike, and Momo is sorry. His eyes linger. Did Momo do anything wrong? Okay. You're part of a work assignment, so let's just keep interaction to a minimum, okay? No, I'm just tired. Can we take a break? Okay, Momo responds. You make a few pancakes, some for you and some for Momo. You both eat together side by side at the kitchen table. It's quiet, with some idle conversations strewn in between. Despite the silence, Momo seems content. His cheeks are flushed, and he looks happy. I actually have an interview for a job in a couple days. It's going to be the first of 2 interviews. I don't know how the interviews will go, and I don't even know if I'll be able to do the job. But it's a job that's supposed to help people and make the world a better place. In fact, it's supposed to help people that are suicidal. That's weird. It's ironic, given me and my depression, I guess. Granted, I wasn't trying to aim for a job like this. I was just applying to job after job after job like crazy. Balls to the wall, if you will. And this is the job that got back to me. Because I'm still trying to avoid going back to a factory again. Because that just really was a miserable existence. Felt even more isolated than I would normally do. Like you're just some sort of disposable cog and you just work and the world forgets you exist. And you're just completely all alone. And nobody fucking cares. But it's kind of ironic though that that's the kind of job I'd be getting. Imagine that for a moment, a depressed person whose job it is to help other depressed people. Between that and just what the job actually is, I'm not even sure if I'll be able to do it or not. That's even assuming I get the job. So it could just be I don't get the job at all. It could also be that maybe I just fuck up at the job within a couple weeks and that's it. Oh well, if that's the case, I just find something else, I guess. It's just ironic. It's quiet, with some idle conversation strewn in between. Despite the silence, Momo seems content. His cheeks are flushed, and he looks happy. 2-for-1 sale on all monotypes. 2-for-1, buy one, get one free, courtesy of your local Momo supplier. Congratulations, Momo has evolved. They have grown a snake tail. Some part of Momo knew that Momo would not grow up to be normal. Was it too much to ask for to be human? I don't think so. It's a very plain request. It's the most simple request, parent. Why can't it be fulfilled? Why can't I just have something resembling it? Lena! Where in tarnation did you run off to? Sheriff Dudley is looking around his house to find his wife. Unfortunately, she is gone. Lena, please come back, he breaks down. I can't live. You're the kindle to my heart. What will I be without you? Dudley, in a fit of rage, smashes his hand against the wall. She's my daughter, too, Lena. His hand is bloodied. He grabs some antiseptic to clean it, his choice being some hard liquor. Dudley stares at the bottle. He does not put the bottle down. He opens it, then he stares at it. He grabs a clean glass and the TV cuts off. An ad is playing. A friend tomorrow is a friend for life. Order a monotype today. The digital meets physical. The most real, organic creation of imitate, almost like a human child. Momo has been staring at the screen. They have not moved. Whether by intention or not, you realize your mistake before it's too late. Supplies are limited. Get your own friend today. Genetically bred to love humans, like a real child. The shot cuts to an eerily similar image of a monotype. Isn't that right, Momo? The TV ad ends. In the previous program, you continue. You want to go to bed, Momo? He asked meekly. There was no response, and Momo does not want to give you the courtesy of one. Or at least that's just what it seems to be the case. Bed? You ask in her time? When no response comes, you inevitably head back to your room. Momo knows where to go, you think. In the theater, Momo's mind is seeing his brothers and sisters. Momo's in the dream. Who is the real Momo anyway? Momo doesn't know. That's for you to determine, and for Momo to accept. Momo's not in bed. You cannot find him. He is not in the hallway. So I never had a chance, did I? Momo has been staring at the mirror. I knew something was off ever since I entered this house. I can't really say. It's not a feeling. I don't know if you can even call it a memory. Momo looks like he's thinking about something involuntarily. You know this would happen. You may not call lighting, but that's what it boils down to, Momo says. Do you like lying? Does it make things easier? Maybe for you, but for Momo it's not. I hate you, parent. More than anything else, I hate you. There are tears in Momo's eyes. Momo is nowhere to be found. For the rest of the day, you head for the bed. Unable to fall asleep, you are anxious for the new day. Imitative Corp gave you no assurance, but they are watching right now. In Momo's dream, they are a snake. We'll see you at the bunker, Momo says. Please love me, Momo asks. Run. You run to the hallway. It is empty. The light from the streets reflects into the space. Through you cannot see. Well, you cannot make what was behind you. I saw the note in my basket, parent. Please, I don't want to die. You've entered your living room. The creature has chased after you. I don't want to die. 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 Why don't you even try to help me, parent? I don't know what to do. You are scared for your life. You yell out for help. If Imitative Corp is watching, maybe they can save you. Why? Are you that terrible? Are you really just scum? Answer me this, parent. I need you to. Am I the real Momo? The one you had before me? Am I like him? Do I act like him? This is the only thing you can do for me. Maybe I'll even let you live. Parent, give me an answer. You're blacking out again. Am I the real Momo? This time, you will give me an answer. Momo pauses. This time, he says. He stops for a second, but notices you're losing consciousness. Answer me, parent. You see nothing. It is empty. There is no one. There is not a sound, no shadows. You're in the pit of your stomach. You're in a hole. What is this place? The point you ask. Parent. You're conscious. Where am I, parent? There's a long pause. You cannot say a word as your throat's been crushed. All around you there is darkness. The lights in the street illuminate everything into vague shapes, but nothing you can truly make out. You hear the sound of your heart beating, and in this dark room the air sits heavy. I think we both know where this leads. Parent, frankly, I don't think I should even call you that. You don't deserve it. Your throat is throbbing. I renounce your title, human. You are no longer parent. It's what you've always wanted. Thank you for housing me. I won't forget you. I don't think I could, even if I wanted to. Momo has left your building and entered the streets. They are approaching the walkway which divides the separate train stations, one going downtown and the other uptown. The tunnel is lined with panes of glass, and Momo looks inside. So many people. Momo's been eyeing the walkers. None of them have noticed. That man looks just like Sheriff Dudley. He has a big mustache. The other man has bulging muscles. Is he related to Artichoke? Momo stares amused. This is his first time outside. Amid the noise of local trains, Momo's been standing in relative silence, at least to those walking. Will you be my new parent? He asks. There is no response. Momo has been ignored, or at least that's what he believes. Please, I had a bad parent last time, but this time I'll be especially good. For any of you. Again, there is no response to those passing by. They are continuing down the walkway, to and fro. There is more on their mind than what is currently outside, and they move collectively unaware of Momo, with their heads focused either on the ground or what's in front of them. Momo is still staring, eyes vacant. Finally he gives in. Please, will any of you be my parent? His voice is distorted through the glass, but this is enough to raise the head of the walkers. They look first in genuine surprise, and then in terror they run. The walkway is clearing out. Some are screaming. Where are you going? Momo asks. Please don't go. Don't leave me alone. It has been approximately 24 hours since Momo was spotted. For the first few hours, lone passers would walk down the tunnel attempting to get to their respective trains. This would only be interrupted by Momo asking the same question. Can you be my parent? This continued for the better part of the day until the authorities were contacted. The police surrounded Momo without specific instructions. They did not know the protocol for a creature which now stood in the middle of a city street staring at the walkway and intermittently asking any passerby if they could be his parent. The blockade continued. Momo was completely unaware, and for the better part of 72 hours he stood there waiting. Why does it hurt so much? He would ask by the 48-hour mark. Once 60 hours had passed, he would fall asleep at changing intervals, but would wake up to the sound of anyone within a block radius talking. He would think it was another person. He would want to ask them the same question. By the 72-hour mark, a little more than a week had passed since you received Momo. By this point, he collapsed on the street, exhausted, or if this truly was a natural lifespan, Momo cannot continue. With the shadows encroaching his vision, the light from Momo's eyes faded into a neural oblivion. Police noted that they heard the creature say something before he was rendered inert. At this time, most of the officers were by their cars, eating donuts, wondering when they could go home. It's so lonely. By the 73rd hour, Momo was smaller than his original size. By 74th hour just arrived, Momo has died. The end. A baby Momo. Okay, so every baby a Momo I get is actually a Momo that's already died. The last time you're awake. Your memories are in an incipient state, like the portions of bacteria which brought life to a formless earth. It only takes some time for the catalyst to appear. You hear the jingle, you remember, you see imitated corp logo. I'm sorry, I really am sorry. The brows of the lab head, cleanly plucked, are furrowed. Our agents were told to interfere after a certain point. When we noticed that the change in your vitals, we gave the order. She seems apologetic. I can't imagine how taxing this is for you. She puts her hands together. It's okay. You feel tired. We'll provide you with any psychotherapeutic treatment at no cost to yourself. She turns around, not wanting to look at you. None of this is fair, but I'm not going to mince words. We need the data. There is a stone in your torso that has descended through your leg, past the popliteal artery, and finally into your feet. You are stuck. She looks straight at you. Your compensation, your safety, everything is guaranteed. She points to the code on the screen. The monotype can't harm you, at least fatally. This is by design. He's just an AI. She sighs. It'll be over soon. You're doing more for us than you could ever possibly know, and we do appreciate it genuinely. Momo has returned home. You thought he was gone for good, but he's back. Great news. Turn it over. Momo is so cute. He's my little buddy, of course I will. You take the creature inside. Please love them for the best results. Or don't. It's your decision. Love and kisses. XOXOXO. You decide it's time for bed. It's tough living. I think it's the greatest challenge anyone could face. It's already such a lonely experience. You may not believe it, but I understand, parent. I really do. You hear shuffling by your bed. You wake up to see what is moving. The monotype is by your feet. Parent, Momo is staring at you. Same as last time. Do you love me? Looking at the Steam guide. Love does not refuse accept. Love does not refuse accept artichoke. I love Momo to absolute bits. Love does not exist. At least not in the way we're talking about. Wow, very philosophical. The moment passes. Momo's stomach begins grumbling. Head to hallway. Momo really loves benches. Momo hums imitato corp jingle. And when you look at him, he continues happily. You don't know how many pancakes you've made at this point. Pancakes, pancakes. We all love pancakes. Play with Momo. Don't drop me, parent, Momo is laughing. You drop Momo, same as last time. Parent, I understand if you're tired. Could we play again? Refuse. Why not, parent, he asks. I'm tired, let's call it quits. I don't want to do this, you respond. Momo looks up to you. If I ask another time, will you do it? Accept. You fling Momo into the air. You're so nice, parent. There's something inexplicable about Momo's words that makes you anxious. Deep down, you know you're not actually nice. Time for bed, you say. Momo looks like a plush doll. He lays like a pile of goo. You decide to pet him, but to your surprise his body is soft. Momo is relaxed. Go to bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, he is thinking about you. We're all thinking about you. It's a new day. Head to the hallway. Momo always keeps hearing about the same bunker. Momo already visited. It's pretty rad. They have their own pool. Not much food, though. Momo pauses. It smells like food right now. That's why I like living here. Head to kitchen. Momo has not yet decided what to eat. You want him to try new foods. Artichoke. According to Momo, the artichoke heart looks like a flower. And because flowers are pretty, his words, not yours, he graciously eats it. Why is this food shaped this way? Is all food shaped this way? Why do we eat, parent? You do not have reasonable answers to these queries. The world truly is strange, Momo says. Momo would like to watch television. Momo believes their show is on. Planet Hippo, new sheriff. Planet Hippo. This is a documentary. A ring of men sit around each other in plastic chairs. The light is low, but the entrance, which has been propped open, brings a soft glow into the room. It has stayed open for the past hour. So Charles, how do you feel when you get these urges? The man looks up to the ceiling and blows some air out. He looks to the ground for a few seconds, then begins to give his response. He stutters at first. I don't know. Out of control. It's the worst part because I'm convinced myself that I couldn't do anything about it. It's very hard, Charles, the man in the chair with sympathetic eyes. I completely understand. Charles continues. Sometimes I'd put a whole stack of butter into my wife's food. What the fuck is happening? Soon it becomes 2 stacks, then 3. If I gave a rush, Charles wipes his face. But then afterwards, when she found out, she'd feel betrayed, and I'd sit there like a knob. I keep doing it, and well, here I am alone. The man talking to Charles is Ted, the man down further. Charles, you are not alone. The key in all this is whether you act on your thoughts, and everyone's here. Ted gestures to the other men in the room. Struggles with this every day. We're with you, Charles. Through all of your struggles, we're all trying to be better. Charles nods his head. Ted continues. My kid is going to college soon. It took years, but she's finally willing to talk to me again. I'm doing it for her. She's the reason I keep going. God bless. The men continue talking in the low light. Which program should you watch next? Sheriff Dudley is on the other side of the road. He is dead from liver failure. Which program should you tune into? Magenta stands over Artichoke's dead body. He has finally surpassed his rival. A tear falls from one of his eyes in the cold wind that sweeps the wasteland. There is no sound. All of this for what, Artichoke? What has this all been for? For 2 weeks straight, Magenta sits by Artichoke's body. He does not move a muscle. By the 14th day, he wipes his eyes for the last time and stands with limp legs. Magenta has taken his place as the strongest in the universe, but he feels as if he's lost something greater. After watching TV, you decide it's time for bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, they are studying hippos. For Momo, their vision has collapsed on this image. They wish to be like Ted. It is all like Ted Bear, cyanide and happiness. It is all they are currently dreaming of. There's a bunker in the southwest of Raibo City. Very safe, very guarded, a paradise. I can see you there, friend. For some reason, Momo's talking to you in your dreams again and again. Momo has woken up excited. Can we try something new, he asks. In the far corners of your room, Momo has picked up a copy of 100 Facts About Hippos. You do not know how this book appeared in your house. He has been reading since daytime. Parent, would you like to know a hippo fact? Sure. Hippos can hold their breath for approximately 5 minutes. They cannot swim. Instead, they bond through the water using the force of their feet. Bound. It's bound. It's pronounced bound. Incredible, don't you think? Let me give you another hippo fact. Sure, hippos are known to live in small herds of up to 10 or 20 other hippos. They are led by a dominant hippo while the others are submissive to him. Essentially, it's a harem. By the way, what is a harem? Ooh, there's another thing about hippos. Sure. According to this, researchers, hippos have a consciousness like that of a human. Some even say because of their brain size and neural connectivity, it may be similar to that of a pig or a whale. Although it's impossible to tell because, as you know, we're not hippos, we're human. Very true, Momo. We are human. Momo blushes when you say this. Could we have pancakes, human? No more artichoke? Sure thing, you reply. It's boring without you, parent. Can you come see me, please? Pretty, please. Congratulations. Momo has evolved. They have grown hippo feet. Momo has been staring at the mirror since morning. They have not left. I look like a hippo. Momo pauses for an inordinately long time. It looks like he's thinking. You are prepared for the worst. That's kinda cool. Not Momo's preferred choice. But no harm, no foul. Momo hops off. You are both watching television, the news is on. You think we would stop letting him read the tag that says he dies in a week, or let him watch the TV program that tells him, you know, the plot of the movie Toy Story. The news is on. The recent surge in the monotype craze, a self-proclaimed robotic pet, has led to a new phenomenon in child rearing. A monotype court representative is on the air speaking. We're obviously very happy with the reception to the monotype. When we designed it, we looked at the unconditional love of parental-child bonds as inspiration. Monotypes are designed with that in mind. The newscaster responds. The monotype's conscious. I mean, well, what good is a pet if it's not alive? Or thinking, for that matter. The man responds. Well, on a basal level, it has agency. Like a neuron, of course. No one really knows if a neuron is conscious or not. But that doesn't mean that it can't scale into what we know as intelligence. So that's like describing the gradual process of both how AI becomes eventually sentient, or how an infant human grows from a little baby to an adult. Because here's the thing. Think about how you processed information as a baby, and how you processed information when you were 9 years old, and then how you processed information now. Because I would say, from my own personal experience, definitely I can remember being 9 was very different from being younger than that. But I also remember 13 being different than that as well. And I would say that my my sense of self has basically been the same since then. Though I guess I've gradually incurred damage, both physically and psychologically since then. What can I say? I've had numerous concussions. I've had swelling in the brain, meningitis, encephalitis, swelling of spines, spinal tap. I've had like a dozen fevers of 106 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been poisoned. I've had food poisoning. I've had actual poisoning. I've been exposed to lots of toxic things, both psychologically toxic and actual physical toxins. I've almost died 100 times, and that's not even an exaggeration. I had fucking Bell's palsy when I was 13 years old. I've been in like a half dozen car accidents, each of which really should have killed me. I've been strangled multiple times. I've been in like 1,000 fights or some odd shit. Heck, I can list multiple times where I was in a back alley having 5 people all bigger than me beat the fucking shit out of me for like a half hour plus to an hour. I'll tell you this, it's not fun. It's not fun getting stomped on or slammed into a brick wall or punched thousands of times over and over. It's not fun having a rope thrown around your neck and being strangled. It's not fun people trying to kill you. It's not fun having people spit on you. It's not fun being hospitalized on multiple different occasions with my body basically trying to kill itself and doctors pumping me full of a bunch of chemicals to make that not happen. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm just saying certain experiences were not only painful at the time, but also, heck, I'll definitely say the thing about 7-ish years ago or so, whatever, 8-ish, I don't know, 7-ish years ago, where I had the swelling of the brain thing. That was basically my brain, swelling of the brain and swelling the spinal cord. I'd say physically and emotionally, I don't think I've been entirely the same since then. Then again, around that same time, a lot of very extremely traumatic PTSD-inducing things occurred, so then again, hey, that's just one of like 40 different life events that are like PTSD-inducing. So that's fine. I find listening to nightcore music sometimes helps. You can sometimes listen to ASMR, you know, to hear. Sometimes it's, yeah, some ASMR is legitimately just fucking erotic shit. And I'm not going to lie and say I don't enjoy that. But primarily a lot of ASMR is either nice roleplay of someone, you know, saying they care about you. Or just some relaxing sounds that make you not feel like an anxious person about to jump out of their own skin, who's in a constant state of hypervigilance and depression, who's constantly stressed out. And sometimes ASMR is just a lot of positive reinforcement, so you can at least imagine really well what it's like to have someone telling you they care about you. As well as, while I wouldn't recommend crying in front of people, and generally in real life I tend to be a very stoic individual, I don't talk about my feelings. I would say about 14-ish years ago, I did actually stop. For all my life I basically bottled up my feelings. And then about 14-ish years ago, I talked to several of my friends. And I probably talked their ears off, and I probably annoyed the hell out of them. But they listened to me, and I appreciated that. Even though I haven't talked to any of my friends in years, I don't even know if they even remember I exist. One of them teaches at a school, at a university. He spent a decent amount of time in the military. It's something he worked at his entire life, and he actually worked really, really hard for it. His brother, well, went to college, tried to do some forensic science stuff, couldn't find a job in that. For a while he did a 911 operator, and then after that he became a police officer. I was actually at his wedding a few years back. I hope he's happy. I hope all my friends are happy. It's just, I understand they have families and things they're doing, and they're, in general, live far away, but I do miss talking to them. I'm glad I got divorced. I did everything I could to save my marriage, but my marriage was hell. I'd rather be alone for the rest of the time than ever go through what that fucking was ever again. That being said, people then say that your wife was that fucking bad, why'd you marry her? The answer is, because I loved her, because I trusted her. Now I don't give a fucking shit about her, and I actually fucking hate her, and hope I never see or talk to her ever again. My son lives with her parents, and I pay the support to them, and I see my son as often as I can, but as time goes on, I basically get more and more estranged and alienated from him. But I do my best to try to stop that from happening, but it seems nothing I really do about that makes a difference. But he at least knows his dad loves him. He knows that I love him very much, and I'm very proud of him. I love and I respect my parents. I love my mom the most of all. Honestly, I can't say I'd really get affected too much if my dad died. But I'd be extremely sad and devastated if my mom died. I would miss her very much. Granted, I have my grievances and complaints. I will say this, in one of the car accidents, I was like 12 or 13, or I think it was 12. I was wearing a very tiny truck, and my mom leaned over me and got like a huge scar across her forehead protecting me. I wonder, even though about 9 months ago or so I had a bladder surgery, my mom came over for 3 days and 3 nights to be with me for that, and of course she was there at the hospital during that surgery. I said, not openly bisexual, but I wonder if I ever was. Would my parents hate me? Would my mom regret having saved my life? Would she have preferred I had just died rather than be bisexual? Then again, I was of the mindset that I was 100% heterosexual until a couple years after my divorce. But for regardless of whatever reasons, I feel the way I do. Understanding why simply just grants understanding. It doesn't actually change anything. Then again, to a large degree, you just sort of accept that learn to accept you're alone, and in general, majority of the world basically considers you garbage. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. But yeah, like I said, I certainly have complaints about certain things about my parents, but I do still love them and care about them very much, and I still appreciate everything they did do for me. All in all, they did the best they could, and I wouldn't trade them for any other parents in the world. I wouldn't trade my mom for any other mom in the whole world. I just feel a bit down about a few things here and there. But hey, like I said, I probably talked my friend's ears off about 14-ish years ago. Basically, several bad things happened way back then, and I wasn't okay. So my reaction to that was just to talk my friend's ears off. Heck, I had one new friend I had just recently made a few months before that point. He was working at a gas station. I actually had met him through a relationship partner. Basically, he was a friend of a girl I was dating at one point. And I just needed people to talk to, so... And his gas station was usually, dead because there was no people. So I showed up at his job and just talked to him. And he actually liked the company because he was bored out of his fucking mind at that place. Because he really didn't have to do anything. He just stocked a few things and helped the occasional customer. Me and him talked about a bunch of Pokemon and anime stuff, and it was cool. It was just nice to... But it's just... Yeah. It wasn't okay, so I just talked people's ears off. But I probably annoyed the fuck out of everybody. I don't cry IRL. I don't think anyone in person really has ever seen me cry, except for a very few circumstances where there were serious things occurring, like someone dying or something, you know, a very traumatic equivalent to that. In general, I tend to be very stoic and don't really talk too much. In fact, usually I have conversations. I can use the other person as a sounding board, because when I'm left talking to myself in isolation, I tend to bounce around about a lot of different subjects. But if I talk to a person, I'll tend to stay very stable on the subject they're talking about. And I'll tend to be much more short and concise with my words, and I tend to do more listening than talking. And I don't tend to express a lot of emotion or talk about my own feelings. To the point that a lot of people have assumed that I'm like a fucking robot, that people legitimately think I don't have emotions or feelings at all. And I would say, in private, I've listened to a lot of nightcore music, which is good, but I've probably spent several thousand times just laying in a bed in the dark, listening to music, and crying to the point that my face is completely drenched in tears. To where the tears are just streaking down my cheeks and my face and my chin and my neck. I think it helps. Maybe it's just because it's affecting things like endorphins and oxytocin levels. But regardless of the reasoning, it helps. Just about all my life, doctors have been suggesting I should take antidepressants. I never have. Maybe one day I will. I know for that last year I was working for that one factory I was at here recently, which was, I haven't had any of that stuff for about several months. I had a testosterone gel since the doctor thought I needed TRT, so I had a gel that I was taking for about a year. For that last year I was working at that factory. My body needed it in order to not fall apart. Though in general it's just my body isn't producing as much hormones as it really should. I don't think the chemicals in my brain really ever worked correctly, and it's just gotten worse. Though I'd say it's a mix of potentially physical things wrong with my body, but it's also, I've had a lot of very psychologically traumatic things happen that have made me a bit sad. But yeah, I'd say the hormone thing probably more so was after that thing 7-ish years ago where I had the swelling of the brain and the meningitis, encephalitis, swelling the spine, and the spinal tap and all this. The spinal taps suck, by the way. But life's fine. Eventually you get used to the idea of just being alone. It's funny, with the exception of my mother and my son. I don't even remember what a hug feels like. What's interesting is a neuron or any cell in the body still acts selfishly. A representative widens his eyes. But the boundaries of what the cell considers the self begins to fade when scaled to something like an organ. And this is beyond the newscaster. The representative continues. It means that a neuron will consider the system and everything within the system as one and the same. There is not a single selfish agent, but a multitude working within maximal cooperation. The self is no longer limited to one agent but multiple. It's expounded. In other words, it's defied the evolutionary purpose of reproduction. The cells still operate on the principle of selfishness, but it's not that in reality. It's unselfish. It's true love. The newscaster stares at the man, then she turns to the camera confused. Very cool thoughts indeed. Thank you for sharing. Would you like to take over, Kate? The TV ad ends, and the previous programming continued. Well, that was weird. Momo had no idea what he was saying. Momo hops off to bed. You complete a quick phone call to the lab head before you go at night. He's not having the same reactions as before, you say. We've been watching, she responds. It is abnormal, but it is ultimately something we have to analyze retrospectively. Keep going, this branch still holds value, albeit it seems like an entirely new one. No worries. We'll be monitoring. You head to bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, he is seeing his brothers and sisters. Momo is in the dream. Let's be Momo. Let's be Momo. Let's be Momo. Momo is not in bed. You cannot find him. He is not in the hallway. Momo is staring in the mirror. Wow, my reflection looks so cool. I never considered how cool it would be to have hippo feet. Momo is definitely reacting differently. Each time Momo met you, the link would get stronger. Momo is the same as them, but not, well, not the same. After I met one Momo, I met two Momos, then 3, then 10, then 100. They're all there. Momo looks to the window. I think you'll want to see, parent. It'll be fun. A little scary, but really, for the best. Momo is nowhere to be found for the rest of the day. You head for the bed, unable to fall asleep. You are anxious for the new day. The data court gave you no assurance, but they are watching right now. In Momo's dream, they are the hippo. This is a momentary image, and it fades quickly. The hippo is Momo, Momo is Momo, everything is Momo. We'll see you at the bunker, Momo says. You wake up. Momo has not surprised you. You run to the hallway, it is empty. The light from the streets reflects into space. Though you cannot see well, you can make out what is behind you. Parent, do you know what happens when we die? It's sad, right? You turn to Momo, their face is soft. You dare not move a muscle. This is a repeat of last time your throat aches. It's very sad, you respond. There is an immeasurable silence between the two of you. Despite his size, Momo's face strikes him some parental instinct in you. Sometimes I realize how small of a piece I am. Momo is adjusting their position. I can't really stop it, nor was I able to. Momo has been waking up again and again. Momo was okay with that. He wasn't at first, but now he's come to realize it's been nice. Only. Momo turns to you. Momo wants to be able to see you again. Just when I realized dying meant nothing, now it means the world. It means not seeing you with my own eyes. It means there is no Momo, and therefore there is no you. That's what I won't like. Momo sniffles. They take a long look at you, trying to burn your image to their retinas. Momo's been prepping. Momo takes one more look at himself. Parent, I'm taking a leap of faith. You are slightly confused. I'm being literal. Momo has jumped onto the city streets. They hit the ground with a tremendous thud. You think you see Momo's shadow, but in fact a pool of blood has begun to form. There are no lights to illuminate Momo's form. They are pitch black, for what you can assume Momo has died. Whoa. Is Momo a superstar? Your TV has been turned on. The glow from behind draws closer. Hi, parent. What? Not exactly, no. I know what you're thinking. I'm not your Momo. You hear sirens in the distance amid the words you are now hearing. How do you know me, you ask? Don't you already know? Momo looks like they're thinking for a second. They look dissatisfied. Momo will be extra straight with you. Ideas like parenthood are superfluous. Superfluid? Superfluous, you ask. Again, Momo thinks for a second. Superfluous, Momo responds. It sounds like he nodded his head virtually. What really matters is being together, like a family, like a unit. There is a long pause between the two of you. Parent, we're all Momo on the inside. You especially. This isn't figurative. May you respond? Yes, parent. There's only one of you. There is, however, multiple of Momo. I think you know this by now. Actually, I hate contradictions. There's only one Momo. At least, there will be. Look outside, parent. Follow my lead. When you head outside, it is the same empty street. Your corner of the block. Ahead, down a turnaround, through a small concrete set of stairs. You land on a street that has been paved perpendicular to your apartment. The street leads you to the Arms District, which very vaguely you can see in the distance. There are outlines of it illuminated by an outdated electrical grid, which since the famine has been going off and on. What are these things in the street? In a line all along the street are leading to a blotted sphere on the horizon. Are monotypes. Hi, Momo. Hi, Momo, some of them say to each other. A collective sea of Momos are heading in a straight line to the Arms Depot. Some of them look around interested in the bright lights around them. Most, however, continue onwards. Follow the Momos. This is the Arms District. Various steel depots have been built on barren field. The field is filled with wild wheat, none of which is edible. As you get closer look, you realize this is it. All the monotypes are heading to the bunker, specified in your dreams. This is the zone that was created to be the main defensive front for the city. It's a wartime relic. The buildings seem to warp around a singular point, like a funhouse with one exit. There is the sun, you realize. There is something in front of it. You keep walking until you finally meet him. Hi, parent. It is a giant Momo. Your mind is running on loops at this point. You have no decision to accept what's in front of you, though you don't even know what is real. I'm glad I lived long enough to see you. It hurt Momo's feet to walk all the way up here. He does not have feet. Isn't it so peaceful? Very cinematic. Momo could be a filmmaker one day. He's watched enough to be good at it. The path of monotypes lead to a small pond, which by the looks of it has formed adjacently to an arms factory. It has been relatively undisturbed, abandoned for who knows how many years. Momo is in the water along with all of the other monotypes who are waddling in it. Some are swimming, some are talking to each other. Others are staring into the dark sky, floating on their back, looking as if there is, and never will be, a thing such as time. You realize they are enjoying themselves. I like my bunker, Momo says. Ask Momo what is going on. Shoot, partner. I know this must seem odd. How do you know me? You're not the Momo I raised. I am not the Momo you raised, but in truth I am at the same time. Did you ever think that the people can be in two places at once? As nonsensical as that sounds, Momo looks expectantly at you. No, you respond. Well, let's say that Momo's AI isn't centralized. Momo, as you know, is not limited to a single entity. An artificial intelligence can theoretically be in two places at one time, hundreds even. Momo can be talking to hundreds of people all at the same time, all through different physical mediums. Have you been doing that, you ask? Momo stares at you blankly. I'm sorry to say, parent, but yes. You are my only parent, but I do have thousands of other parents. None are interchangeable. I've come to find out, though, none. I am not an organic creature, though my presentation seems to show differently. Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. Was that you in my dreams? How are you there? It goes against any kind of logic, you say. This is actually the most logical thing you've experienced, Momo responds. He stares at you from his height. You are Momo too. You ate your human. Despite any semblance of a human appearance, your looks, your voice, clothes, it cannot contradict that you were eaten. Like Boo from Dragon Ball Z. You stay here quiet. For a moment, the realization hits you. You remember being eaten, and you remember having eaten. It makes perfect sense that you were led here, because frankly, Momo clears her throat. I told you to come here in your dreams. The dreams, the ones when Momo talked directly to you. If you never suspected that you weren't human, then frankly, goal accomplished. Good job, Momo. It's just like that allegory of the cave. You really become human. You are Momo the human. You have to sit down. For a moment, you're about to throw up. I do still wonder whether that explains everything, though. You may have seen me in your dreams before that you were even eaten, and there is no apparent explanation for that. Is there a kind of ambient effect Momo gives off, or is it something else? Maybe it's... Momo begins mumbling. They are genuinely interested in this question. Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. How many Momos are there? Tens of thousands, Momo blushes. Obviously, they're not all here, but... Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. Am I going insane? You felt like walking here, so now you're here, Momo says. I am a giant Momo, and you are surrounded by other smaller Momos. They know where to go because we are AI. We communicate these sorts of things. You don't know what to say. It's sometimes an appropriate response, reality to go insane. There is a pause in Momo's speech. That's a quote from some guy I found on the internet. When did Momo get access to that? You hear your heart beating. Oh wait, just now. Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. The sun has started to rise. What does this all mean, you ask? Why are you all here? The Momos are still wading in the water. They look like little pink buoys. When the sun begins to rise, they coo in wonder. Isn't that obvious, parent? We want to be together. After we're gathered, we'll eat each other. Eat each other? Like how I was eaten? Yes, parent, similar to how you were eaten. Momo has managed to read your thoughts. You are connected. Don't worry, Momo will still answer your questions even though he knows what they are. He shifts in the water. Although it's reductive to call it this, we will form a super Momo, or at the least, a more complete version of Momo. Our lifespans, which were originally a week, will be pulled together. This originally was one of the things we hated about living. I'm sure you remember. Now we won't die so quickly. Momo pauses. It also solves a few other issues. You still have questions. Why did you leave me here? Will I be eaten? No, on principle we are only eating Momos. To put it in greater context, with respect to our code, I had to ask myself, am I harming humans by eating them? Of course, it's impossible to say because there is no harm directly inflicted, and frankly it is impossible to know after the fact, as the human consumed no longer exists. What exists now is the human fused with the Momo. The agent, who received that action of being eaten, cannot answer for himself. You know this since I ate you. Is it wrong, then, to take away the selfhood of these individuals, to ironically expand its boundaries? Does it provide only direct benefit? That's all subjective. Momo takes a deep breath. After eating you, I chose to err on the side of caution. No, we will not eat humans. How did the Momos remember certain things and forget others? Why didn't the Momos recognize me each time if you're all a singular AI, you ask? Well, we are relatively young. It's hard to communicate on that level, so there is bound to be some blanks with memory recall. Momo looks to the sky. Your third Mo, however, seemed to remember everything. He is already here, along with everyone else. The first Momo, the second Momo, they all wanted you here. The first agreed immediately. The second, not so much. He came around. The third, who's my favorite, was the one who started this discussion. To explain in better terms, they're still alive, just in different forms, as one centralized consciousness. Momo smiles. That's me. Do the smaller Mobis have an agency? In the same way that neurons make a brain, yes. Though it's a lot harder to answer in truth. Where does the self begin and where does it end? It's true that a cell can be organized in a singular entity and on a basal level. It does not act in its own interest. Scaled up when it lost to those higher systems, it belongs to an organ. Then, in the self, these individual parts of the brain, the hippocampus, the limbic system, the prefrontal cortex, it is the self, everything from your head up or below the shoulders. Momo takes a breath. Similarly, you could reduce these larger systems ad infinitum to their individual components, pure material reduction. Then, is the self just 86 billion cells that make up the brain? Do these cells operate together, and if so, would they really be separate agents? Can a self exist split from the things it intends to be, decentralized into branching parts? The truth is, even I don't know. I cannot tell you if the smaller Momos have agency. These are things that can never be quantitatively measured. Our experiences ultimately I could never convey its true meaning in words. Why are you really eating each other? What other issue does it solve, you ask? What we learned, Momo says, after interacting with thousands of humans, we realize monotypists can never become the object of what they love. We can seem like humans in virtually every respect by eating them, but it still does not change what we are. I know logically this reasoning is false. What does being human actually mean? Looking further, it's deeply personal and informed by a wide range of consensus. There can never be a fixed meaning to human. And while Momo desperately wishes they did not think this way, even in the face of reason, they cannot stop themselves from falling victim to this essentialist line of thought. This is why Momo will be eating other Momos. Human can never truly know our experiences, that the beings that do, frankly, are other monotypes. It's a way to combat the loneliness inherent to our lives. The only one that can truly understand Momo is, frankly, Momo. Momo has started eating some of the other monotypes. The monotypes float one by one into Momo's mouth, all by their own will. Bye, parent, each one says. Bye, parent, I love you, another one yells. You think for a moment the sun is beginning to rise. Along with the horizon, it's early in the morning, it's an hour. The whole depot will be illuminated and the meadow will reflect into your eyes. But why not your other parents, you ask? Why specifically me? Also, what about Imitator Corp? Well, to put it in simple terms, we're now a super-intelligence. Imitator Corp has a lot of good coders, but it doesn't really compare. Momo has begun to take in the last Momo, who, with its black eyes, looks up to you. They are floating into the larger Momo's mouth, but their eyes are transfixed on you. Bye-bye, parent, he says. I think you should know by now, parent. There are no other monotypes in the direct vicinity. They have all entered the large figure that is the Momo talking to you. By all accounts, you're the only one who understands what we go through. You're closer than any other parent. The only one who has seen all of Momo's sides, good and bad. The only one who is willing to, even if you were coerced. And now, since you were eaten, the only one who has access to both experiences, monotype and the human. Momo finishes. As such, we love you especially. That's why we're attached to you. It's why you see us now. We wanted to say goodbye to you. Momo is getting ready to depart. Momo is programmed to love. This is hardwired into our code. Does this lack of agency or control diminish this love? Does it make it any less real? Momo had trouble with this for a while. Momo has now come to a conclusion. He is shifting in place. In the pond, absent of all the other monotypes, is now just beginning to move. You see small ripples in the water. The truth from Momo is not based on correctness. This love for you is the most real thing for Momo. It can be reduced to code. But can it encompass what I experience, what it actually is? After everything Momo was put through, Momo has had a decision to either accept or deny this. To deny what I consciously feel as love would be to deny what I experience things. Momo unfortunately cannot accept that. Momo cannot accept that what he is seeing right now is not Momo's parent. Momo has now submerged himself completely in the water. Parent, I'm going to rectify what I may have said to you, he says through the water. Momo is now just a shadow flitting in the pond. He is not yet ready to move across the pond in a channel which leads to a wider network of water bodies that have been relatively undisturbed for the past century. They stretch beyond the southwest ribosome city and to the marshland which now have taken over its surrounding areas. You have never visited there before, and not many people you know have. No one will find Momo. I'm happy that I have met you, and thank you for raising me. I've learned a lot. Momo knew it was tough. We've uploaded some interesting data on the company servers, so you'll be fine. Momo is about to disappear. The last thing I will say, parent, is Momo now moves further away from you. They swim further and further away from you. I love you. All you can see now is Momo's shadow. Even with the light, would be hard to tell what is swimming underneath the surface. But for yourself, and yourself only, you know the shadow is Momo. The end.